Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. My wife is dead. The best Christmas present I could have gotten. Original post. At the beginning of 2022, I caught my wife having an affair with one of her exes. Our marriage wasn't perfect. I was not the perfect husband, I will admit, but I did my best. I put effort into the entire 5 years we were together. I put my all into the relationship. I could not say the same. I was forced to confront the reality of who she truly was shortly after I caught her. She illegally evicted me from our shared home, lied to the police to try and get me arrested, tried to get me fired from my job, and tried to turn all of my friends against me. Some of these succeeded, while others did not. She has made my life a living hell since the day I asked her for the divorce, and has planted her heels into the ground over our separation to try and drain all my finances and emotional strength from me. The only upside is, we had no kids for her to use as weapons, but I soon found out that her policy of strict birth control with me did not extend to her suitor, as he got her pregnant 5 months ago. I thought maybe this would help speed along the divorce, but it only rallied her in her efforts to destroy me. On Christmas Eve, my wife and her affair partner went to a party, where both of them got drunk. I find this fact terrible, as all her friends knew she was pregnant as well. Then her suitor drove them home, a mistake that would cost them both their lives. In the state I live in, our divorce is now considered to never have even started, and I will be able to claim her life insurance policy for myself and move back into my home. Her parents called me up distraught yesterday, acting as if the last year had never happened, and offered their full support to my funeral preparations for her. My confusion here was beyond belief, but the apple does not fall far from the tree when it comes to my wife. I told them if they want a funeral, it was coming out of their pockets. I will pay for her to be cremated and deliver her ashes to them in the cheapest urn offered if they desire. They called me horrible and tried to guilt me about her life insurance, but after only 4 minutes on the phone with them, I hung up and blocked every one of her family's numbers. I'm going to be taking a few extra days off work to move back into my house over the next week. I've already made arrangements to have her stuff hauled off, so my home will be an empty canvas to start my life anew. I don't know if there is a God or if this was just karma, but I truly believe now that I have come out on the other side of the storm. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Make sure to block all her scumbag friends as well. Have her things delivered to her parents' house. Then live well. I cut those people out of my life when they turned on me due to false accusations that I had video evidence to prove wrong. If her lies being exposed in 4 Kelvin are not enough to convince them, they are nothing more than anchors to be released into the sea. She probably didn't have real friends. Someone who behaves the way he's describing has a very transactional view of relationships and is unlikely to form lasting bonds. Her family was clearly in it for the money. He won't have to worry about any friends of hers popping up, and I suspect that most people at her funeral will be there just to confirm she's dead. Bro, be careful of her family. Security cameras and a lawyer. Change the locks. You know, I'd sell the house and move away. Just as a safety measure. Don't let your guard down because her family may try something. Her family is many things I despised. But cowards are the main theme. I already changed the locks on the house, and the chances of them trying much is not high in my opinion. I am keeping my eye out though, and setting up cameras around the property tomorrow. I only wish to sleep in my home right now. I only want to wake up in the house I was kicked out of. Selling the house will be a choice I make once I do that. A lot has happened to you in a relatively short amount of time. Please keep an eye on your own health and well-being, dude. Looking inwards into the void is not something I want to do right now. Once I can sleep in my home again, I will peer into that darkness. Damn bro, lucky you. Enjoy the new chapter, bro. Thank you, friend. I would suggest you send her things to her parents' home instead of just hauling them off. It would be kind to leave grieving family with the things that belong to her. I suggest this not because they are good or deserving people, but because you want to start your new life out on the best foot possible by doing a good thing. You're getting rid of them anyway. You're right. I don't like them, but they do deserve her things if they want them. I'll unblock her mom and offer to make arrangements to deliver her stuff wherever she wants. If she wants it all or only certain things, I'll eat the cost and deliver it to her. I'm already paying to have it hauled and trashed, so no point in caring where it goes. And now for the update. I have decided to elaborate on a few common threads I see in this post here, as responding to all the comments would be too much. Firstly, some are judging me for the way I am reacting to the death of 3 people. You are right, it is not normal nor is it healthy. I feel no emotions toward my ex at this moment. All my hatred, resentment, and regret evaporated when I learned of her death. I feel nothing but relief right now. This void has slowly consumed me over the past few days. I feel numb, like I'm dreaming, like what happened is not real. This woman made my life a living hell for over a year. She set out to destroy me and would not stop until she did. I do not like the fact that I feel this way over the death of 3 people, but that is not a box I feel ready to unpack at this moment. Secondly, I have reached out to my ex's mom today, and things are much more civil as of now. I'll pay the hauling company to move her stuff into one of their storage units, and they can figure out the rest. Her mother revealed to me that they cannot afford to host a funeral for my ex. I am 100% the legal beneficiary of her life insurance. Despite my past hatred for her family, I told her mother I will give them a small amount from her life insurance so they can have a service and arrange burial logistics for her. This is contingent on us cutting ties after, and I will not be involved any further in her funeral. I will still be talking to a lawyer. Lastly, I am not going to elaborate any further, except the only lives lost was hers, her suitor, and their unborn child. Some are saying I should sell the house. Right now, I only want to return to my home. The details of where I end up, either there or somewhere over the rainbow, are yet to be determined. I do not know what life holds for me or for any of us. This event happened, maybe for a reason or maybe the universe has no logic at all. This gift put an end to a period of my life that sent me to the brink of destruction, and it's morbid to think that the death of 3 people was what pulled me to the other side alive. It's interesting how quick it can all change or end. Next story. I found out that my husband and his ex-girlfriend shared a bed together. I'm livid. I feel sick. I feel so betrayed. It all begun last year. It's a long story, but I, 30 female, let my husband, 35 male, stayed at his 33 female ex-girlfriend's apartment. They were childhood friends before they started dating. When I met her a couple of years ago, I thought she's really nice. People describe her as the nicest person, a good friend, and has a good sense of humor. They say she's very honest and incapable of lying. Needless to say, we eventually became friends and trusted her with all my heart. Last year, I had to go on a business trip for a few months. My husband, fiancé at that time, share an apartment, but since I'm working overseas for a couple of months, we decided to not renew the lease to save some money for our wedding and have him stay at his parents' until I'm back. Weeks after I left, my husband Sam called me asking me if he could stay with Rebecca, his ex, as she's desperately looking for a roommate but can't find any. At that point all I said was, "But aren't we trying to save money?" He told me Rebecca isn't looking for a roommate because of the rent. She just doesn't want to be alone in her apartment. She lives in a not-so-safe neighborhood, so I kinda understand. I honestly haven't thought that it's weird because they were ex-lovers, but somehow it made me a little uncomfortable. She lives in a 1-bedroom apartment. Like, where is he going to sleep? He explained she has a couch, etc., so I told him that it's fine with me. I trust both of them, but I only have one condition: they will never share a bed. He laughed and said, "Of course, babe." The entire time Sam stayed at Rebecca's, they never really made me feel I couldn't trust them. They would video call me, we'd play games online, etc. It was fun. Rebecca would also call me sometimes just to chat. We talk about makeup, her Tinder date encounters, and some other stuff that doesn't involve my husband. One night I was feeling homesick and called Sam, but he wouldn't respond, so I called Rebecca. She answered the call. The minute she picked up, I could hear another person in the background that sounded like they just woke up. I can't tell if it's Sam, but it's a guy. Rebecca put me on hold for a bit. I honestly felt something is off that time, but decided to brush it off. I asked her where Sam is, and she said he's sleeping. I asked her where, and she said on the couch. I was like, okay. We ended up talking instead. I felt better and almost forgot about it. Fast forward to last week, Sam and I met up with his friends, including Rebecca, for a Christmas party. Everyone is having fun, getting drunk. Then suddenly Rebecca asked me how I'm able to sleep when my husband snores too loud. And before I can answer, Sam said, "Wow, at least I don't sleep weird." Then he showed everyone a photo of her on the bed in weird sleeping position. What bothers me is in the photo, you can tell someone laid next to her. Blanket was a mess and there's a shirt on the bedside table. A shirt I recognized. I was shocked and left the party without saying anything. I went to my parents and stayed there till Christmas. My husband and Rebecca were calling me non-stop asking where I am. I am lucky my parents didn't tell them I was with them. They also didn't ask me what happened. I didn't talk to anyone what happened until Christmas. I asked my husband and Rebecca to go to my parents. That's when I asked them to tell me the truth. At first they deny that they slept in one bed the entire time, but eventually they admit they did, but nothing happened. I was so mad. I've never been so mad my entire life. I feel so betrayed, and I threw the gifts I bought for them on their face and asked them to leave. Until now I'm not talking to them. My mom said I should talk to them and let them explain, but I don't think it'll change anything. I don't think I can trust those idiots again. I don't know what to do at this point. You know what's worse? I might be pregnant. I'm delayed, which never happened before. I have so much on my plate right now. Screw my life. Screw you cheaters. Explain. What's left to explain? They deliberately choose to lie to you and break the one condition you had. I wouldn't be surprised if others from your friend's circle knew. If it was all innocent, they both would have told you the truth, especially the time you called Rebecca looking for Sam. But instead, she obviously lied to you that he was sleeping on the couch because she knew they were in the wrong. They both betrayed you. They lived as a couple while lying to your face. So what's left to explain? I keep telling my mom that. I don't think there's anything they say that will change my mind. My family is very religious, so they don't believe in divorce. My mom wants me to fix the marriage I didn't ruin in the first place. All I did was trust people, and this is what happened. Never again. My mom is the same way. That's why I didn't tell her about my divorce due to infidelity until it was almost finalized. Most of my family didn't find out until I was already divorced, because they are also religious. From my own experience, just having a few people in my corner to support me during my divorce made a huge difference. Do you have any trusted friends or any relatives you are able to reach out to for support and possibly a place to stay? I know your feelings are a mess, but trust yourself. It's time to only think about you and what you need to do for your own well-being and mental health. It's now your turn to be selfish and live the life you want without a care in the world. Those two cheaters were not worried about hurting you back then when they living it up together in their apartment without you. Y'all got married and they still left you in the dark knowing they betrayed you. I believe they're only sorry because they got caught, not because they're truly remorseful. Best of luck, OP. It's a long story, but I let my husband stay at his ex-girlfriend's apartment. This is all we needed to know. Pack it up. We're going home now. I know. I'm so dumb to believe that people can be trusted. You're not dumb. Trusting, yes, but dumb, no. We all want at some point to believe that things will be as we've agreed with our significant others. And most on these figured out that which you've just figured out humans are untrustworthy accounts have. You still stood up for yourself, and I hope you never forget to do that. You deserve someone that would never put themselves in that situation. Last story. My wife had a drunken one-night stand. I, 29 male, found out my wife, 28 female, had a one-night stand while on vacation to visit her parents. Some background. I met my wife in a different part of the country from where I grew up. We have been married for 8 years and have a total of 4 children under 8. I am the sole provider for the family, as my wife and I both made the decision that we would rather her raise our children, and when they got older she would finish school and start working again. She just started going back to school this year. Our marriage has not been perfect by any means. We both are stubborn, but there was always love and we both always worked on being a better couple. We don't have enough money for all of us to visit her home state more than once a year. To make up for this, my wife has always flown by herself with the newest baby once or twice each year. This year was the first year I told her to go alone and enjoy her time with her parents. She had a 10-year high school reunion the first night she was back and ended up drinking way too much when she normally doesn't drink at all. She told me she had a margarita and 5 shots of tequila during the night and ended up going back to her friend's house with her ex-boyfriend, and she slept with him. She claims he started it and she just went along with it. She was very distant from me the whole trip, and when she got home, finally broke down and told me the day before Christmas. I was crushed. She was supposed to be my person, my best friend, my everything, and I don't know what to do. If we divorce, she will go home back to her home state, and I will lose my children, and they will lose their entire lives and all the friends they have made. I don't know if I can forgive her for what she did, but she is very apologetic and remorseful and is acting like the perfect wife for now. What should I do? Edit. I have seen a lot of comments that she blamed being drunk for the cheating. I should have made it clearer. She has not used it as an excuse once. She took full responsibility for it. Also, I will not be making any decisions on what I will do until I have had some time to process all that happened and all your wonderful advice, as well as, and much more importantly, talk to some real professionals legally, spiritually, and emotionally. Thank you for all the comments, words of encouragement, and advice. I will update again once there is more to tell. Now for the top advice before the mini update. Use the right terminology. She didn't have a drunken one-night stand, she cheated on you. Now enforce whatever personal policy you have on cheating. Mine would be to leave. Exactly. Drunken one-night stand is terminology for single people who hook up with those they do not want to date. The only terminology that describes this is being a drunk cheating wife. Much easier said than done. It's emotionally healthier for kids to have parents that are split up than have parents in a bad relationship. If you decide to stay, take the next 6 months or year of your life and see if you can forgive her. Maybe try couples therapy to help you get there. If after that time you have not fully forgiven her, you probably never will. It wasn't just a drunken one-night stand. There's more to her story. That's what I believe. Her story went from enjoying the reunion, to going back to her friend's house with the ex tagging along for some reason, to her fighting with her ex, to her sleeping with him. It doesn't make any sense. Did he use protection? No, which makes things even worse. Now for the mini update. Thank you everyone for your words and advice, except the guy who said I might like it. I will be talking with a lawyer and a counselor next week. I set up appointments for both. I am very new to forum, so I'm not quite sure how to update the actual post, but I will once I figure it out and there is more to add.